Just we are going to start in 30 seconds. And everyone had tea or coffee in the canteen?
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Very good evening.
World Blood Donors Day is celebrated everywhere around the world today. Blood donation will not cost you anything, but it saves life. So please donate blood every 4 months. Donating blood helps for your emotional and mental health. This is Kodapan, Sergeant at Arms. Every Toastmasters meeting has 3 ground rules. Please put your mobile on silent mode. I give you 1 minute to do that. Move only when you hear applause. Refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. A man was drowning in the river and praying to God, God, please help me. God sent a small boat and helped him with the boat. But he refused to get on the boat and said, God will come and help me, you go. Then he sent a log of wood to help him. He said, no, I'll wait for the God. After some time, he drowned and died inside the river. As the team says, you should take advantage of every opportunities. Most of us wait for right opportunities. But in reality, you should take the opportunity and put your hard work and perseverance to make it right. Now, I am introducing a person who guided me to take up the opportunity for the Sergeant at Arms role at the club. This helped me to improve my public speaking and leadership skills. Let's welcome VP Education, Toastmaster Priyanka Nanore.
A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Very good
And
evening.
distinguished guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to open meeting number 1389. The minutes of meeting were shared to all of you via mail and WhatsApp. Is there any objection or is there any feedback that you would like to share?
No, you're good.
Thank you. I pass the minutes of meeting number 1388. I would just like to acknowledge the presence of all the guests that have come here, taken the time and come to attend today's meeting and understand what this entire organization and this movement is all about. I would request the first time guests to please raise your hands. Could you please, ladies and gents, share your name and how did you get to know about Toastmasters? Starting from you, ma'am.
My name is Arman, and I got to know about Toastmasters from one of my friends, Advait Arya. So he was part of this probably for the past 2-3 years. So I thought that it's really an interesting concept to be part of. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Abhinav, and my reason is the same because he was my friend as well. So I'm just really curious to know what this is all about, and really happy to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Lovely.
My name is Jyotish. I got to know about this by my sister. She used to take this course, so I'm giving it a try.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi.
So,
myself Ramchandra. So I got to know about this Toastmaster from my friend Vikas. He has already done Toastmaster in Hyderabad.
Okay. Hello, my name is Neha. We have come from St. Joseph College.
Nice to have you all here. Some of you all three are from St. Joseph. I was notified about it. Let us, Toastmasters, how do we welcome our guests? Thank you. Today's theme of the meeting is make hay while the sun shines, which means to take good opportunities when it lasts. Something of a situation that I'm in also right now. When you get an opportunity to come on the stage and present and improve or get over your fears, the kind of unwanted shells that we've all created among ourselves, that fear, unwanted thoughts, that kind of restrict us to take that one step that we want to achieve in life. I feel when opportunity is thrown to you, it is very important to grab that opportunity. And when I really think a lot about this theme, one story which I had heard resonates a lot to me. The story of Edwin Seabuck. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about this person. He had this very, very burning desire to one day have a partnership with Thomas Edison. That was his burning desire. And actually, if anybody had heard about this desire or this dream that he had, people would laugh at him. Because he was a very, very ordinary person, come from a very humble background, who has no connects, nobody who knew Thomas Edison who could guide him to reach out to him. But he had that passion, that dream, that one day I will partner with Thomas Edison. He did express this that when he wanted to meet Thomas Edison at his laboratory, he didn't have enough of money to even travel to his laboratory. And what he did is, he found out there's a goods train that is traveling to New Jersey where his office was. And without telling anyone at home, he took that goods train and he reached New Jersey and stood right in front of Thomas Edison's office. And you know, if we actually know what he did in front of Thomas Edison, we will all be very surprised. I mean, I would have found it very bizarre. He went right in front of Thomas Edison. When he got the opportunity, or when he crossed paths with him, he said, "Hi sir, I would like to partnership with you." And Thomas Edison was taken aback. I mean, a stranger coming in front and just saying, "I would like to partner with you." But Thomas Edison did not get offended or did not feel anything. He just saw something in him. He saw some spark in him and very nicely said, "I'll definitely give you an opportunity to work in my firm," and gave him the most ordinary, you can say that, job, where he just need to take care of the things around the office. That's all. But he did not refuse or did not deny that opportunity. He took that opportunity. He worked for months and years in that role, whatever Thomas Edison gave it to him. He did not get disheartened. He had several opportunities to get disheartened and, you know, kind of ponder upon that dream that he had, that desire. But he did not get rejected. He continued to work in that office. And during that duration, he was keenly observing Thomas Edison's style of working and certain eminent people in his office, the way they were working and their working style, and very subtly learning those skills and imbibing into him. And nobody realized that he was doing it during that journey of his. Then there was a time where Thomas Edison had designed or developed this Edison dictating machine. And for some reasons, the sales were not doing really well. And everybody were disappointed. And that is when Edwin stepped in and said, "Can you give me this opportunity? I would want to try this out." And for some reason, since they had already given up, Thomas Edison thought, let me give him a chance. And did take that opportunity in a way that he turned out the zero profit or the zero sales into a storming sales That machine was sold in so much of number that finally Thomson Edison gave him the post of a partnership. And today both of them are handling, so eventually both of them continued handling that firm, and he became a partner. I mean, that story is so inspiring because if he had not taken that opportunity of an ordinary post or the job that beyond his expectations that was, he still pondered, took that opportunity, learned the skills, and excelled, and finally became his partner. So friends, whenever you get an opportunity, please step in, take it. You never know when your dreams will come true. It might not sound, maybe at the present situation, that things are moving forward, but you never know when it is moving forward. And now moving forward to today's meeting, we have someone, has a similar quality of Edwin. An opportunity given, no matter what, he just steps in. He enjoys increasing his network. He himself meets every person and tries to get the best of the person. If I disclose more about him, then you will not get a chance to disclose more about him. So I will let you all discover and understand his qualities when he is going to take this meeting forward. Ladies and gentlemen, he is none other than the Toastmaster of today's meeting. Please put your hands together in calling the Toastmaster of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sheep Kumar.
Thank you, Presiding Officer Toastmaster Priyanka, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, Bangalore Toastmasters, and good evening, guests.
Very good evening, sir.
Can you have one more round? Good evening.
Good evening.
Chappale. I have a question for you. How many organs are there in a human body? The answer might vary. So I asked the most trusted source of information, Miss Google. And Miss Google told me there are 78 organs in a human body. Today I'm going to introduce you the 79th organ of the human body, which is not created by nature, which is created entirely by the human beings, this small device. You might say, why I'm calling it an organ? It has a skin. If you touch it, it responds. It has ears. If you speak to it, it seems to understand, right? It has got voice. You talk, it talks to you back. It has got eyes. It can recognize your face and objects. And this one has got a better brain than my brain. And I think it's more spiritual, because then why should we keep it so close to our heart? And some of us even keep it close to us when we sleep, right? So you must be wondering why I'm saying all this. The topic is make hay when the sun shines, right? So, because of this, we spend most of the day with our phone lost in deep prayers like this. So we don't know whether it is shining or raining outside, right? When you don't know whether it is shining or raining, how do you seize the opportunity? So there is a saying that there was one man, he heard a noise. Knock, knock. He asked, who is that? The answer came, opportunity. He again asked, who is that? Silence. Because opportunity doesn't knock twice. And in last meeting, we had an education session by District Toastmaster Matthew. He said, ideas and opportunities are like slippery fishes. If you don't hold it, it will slip away and it will go to someone else's hand. And in Greek mythology, the god of opportunity is known as Kairos. The fantastic fact about Kairos is, of course, Kairos has hair, not like me. Of course, I have hair. The only thing is the first letter H is silent. So Kairos has got hair, which is on the front of the head. And the pose of the Kairos statue is in a running mode. Whenever you see the statue, it's always running. So opportunity is always in a running mode. And you can't hold on to Kairos from behind. You have to hold on to Kairos when he is approaching. So that means opportunity we have to attack when the opportunity is there. As simply as make the head when the
Sun is shining.
sun shines. And if you look at the Indian cricket team, there is a player who is a wicket keeper batsman called Sanju Samson, right? Everyone will agree the talent Sanju has got. But unfortunately, every time he got an opportunity to play for the Indian national team, he was not able to make the hit when the sun was shining. So it's about, you may have talent, you must have done the hard work. It's just like, you can sit there in the comfort zone, or you can come here and speak and take the opportunity. A few years back, I was attending an interview at Paragon Footwear, and the interview board there was the board of directors and the CEO. So in my resume, I had written as my qualities: risk-taking, adventurous, and a great listener. So they asked me, she tell me, just prove that you are three. So I said, I'm married, adventurous and risk-taker. And they just laughed. So for me that was an opportunity. I said, oh my, they just laughed. So I said, sir, there's a correction in the third sentence. They looked at, what's good? You got good listening, you are a good listener. I said, no sir, it's actually listen her. So once again, Toastmasters and guests, welcome to the meeting. So for the benefit of guests, I'll explain what a normal Toastmaster meeting is. A Toastmaster meeting will have three components. And the first session is all about prepared speeches, where the Toastmasters, based on certain project guidelines, with the help of mentors, come here with a prepared speech and deliver. And they are evaluated by a set of seasoned Toastmasters, we can say, experienced Toastmasters, who give them the feedback how to improve. That is on the last session. So first session is prepared speeches, last session is the evaluations, and there's a sandwich in between, which is called table topics. This is basically nothing but an unprepared speech, because the speaker will be called here and given a topic on the spot, and he or she has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes based on that topic. To take the meeting forward, we have a person who is evaluating the entire meeting from the beginning till the end, which we call as a general evaluator. I'm just introducing her right now because she'll be coming on the later stage of the meeting to show her skills and feedback. She is none other than Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai. Give a big hand for our general evaluator for the day, Chaitra Chandapillai. And again, we have three, in my opinion, I call them unmolded, three jewels here. We call them, again in Toastmaster language, tag team. Tag is nothing but person who is a timer, A for an R counter, and third G for a grammarian. The first person is who is doing a timer. Before that, I'll ask a question. If you ask a question, every time you ask the question, the answer is different. What is that question?
What's the time?
Yes. We have a timer here for that. So he is from the city of street foods, that's Indo. And he is a guest as far as Bangalore is concerned. He is just here for the last 3 months. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Gaurav Malvira.
Thank you, Toastmastership. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Very good evening.
As we all know, time is precious, and in order to help our speakers value our time, and everyone's time, I'll be helping them. So, my purpose as a timer will be, it is my duty to time and record the duration of entire meeting and its individual parts. For the today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in duration. I will hold up the green card on 6 minutes, yellow card on 7 minutes, and then red card on 8 minutes. For the table topics, the time is 1 to 2 minutes. So for 1 minute, I'll hold up the green card. For the 1.5 minutes, I'll hold up the yellow card. And then for the 2 minutes, I'll hold up the red card. Similarly, for evaluation, the time is for 2 to 3 minutes. For 2 minutes, I'll hold up the green card. For 2.5 minutes, I'll hold up the yellow card. And for 3 minutes, I'll hold up the red card. At the end of the meeting, I'll give my report to General Evaluator and submit to the club secretary in order to become a part of permanent. I hope all the speakers do their best in their designated time. And thank you, Toastmastership. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. Next, we have our counter. She is an example of opposite attract. She is from the mountains, and what she loves is beaches. I think she has got an acronym for beach. She said best place ever anyone can go. So please help me welcome the our counter of the day, Toastmaster Himani Pandey.
Toastmasters and guests, as an hour counter, I will be listening intently for the use of vocal pauses and crutch words such as air, and, so, and repetitive words or phrases. I will keep track of everyone and report at the end of the meeting on who best controlled their usage of fillers. This evaluation starts at the beginning of the meeting and ends at the lecture.
Thank you, Dr. Himani. Let me call upon the next role player, Rahul D'Souza, the grammarian of the day.
As grammarian, I'll be responsible for introducing the word of the day. Today's word of the day is edify. Edify comes from the Latin verb to instruct or improve spiritually, mind and character. So an example would be, make sure to do things that edify you this weekend. The definition pronouns is found on the board in front of you. I will be making note of the good usages of the language and not so good usages of the language. I will prepare my report and do an evaluation for a portion of the day today. Thank you.
Please give a round of applause for all the three role players. Now we will move on to the first session of the meeting, that is prepared speeches. Before we call upon the first speaker, the icebreaker speech, let me invite evaluator, Toastmaster Smita Roshi, to read out the objectives.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Very good evening.
The speaker is attempting icebreaker from leadership development part. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce herself to the club and to learn the basic structure of public speech. Timer, please note, the timing is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smita. The speaker is going to introduce herself, so I'm not going to talk about her. The speech title is Wait for It, and it has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Gangadhar. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Shreya Sadugol.
सुगमानो एपड़ी इरुक्के तुम्हें कैसा है how are you आप कैसे हैं hopefully you are doing great because I will ask in the middle of the speech. For those who might be wondering, yes, I did get this method from one of my professors, so don't judge me. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I'm Shreya Sabigol, and just like every other Desi family, my family too has its own perks. My dad, for one, is one who believes in discipline and dressing appropriately. So never ask him about fashion shows, or else you're going to hear it from him. My mother-in-law is such a great woman. She knows how to humble me in a second with her witty charm. Just the other day, I went up to her and I said, "Ma, I got first prize in a treasure hunt." She goes with the most disappointed look in her eyes, "Only if you come first in exams." Me, without sparing a second, I said, "Yeah, definitely. I will come first in the upcoming exams." Even though we both know that's not gonna happen. Then comes my sister Shraddha. She is the elder sister, so my parents have more hope from her than from me. And we both bond over two things. One is while playing badminton, and other is over food. About me, I used to be an introvert during the COVID times. And when I decided, when I would turn 18, I would try to socialize more and more. But when COVID came, it made my case even more worse, as all sorts of socializations were secluded. And now comes the part where I ask that question. Can any of you guess how many South Indian languages I told in the beginning of the speech?
4.
Okay, all of you are correct. It was 3. Malayalam, Sugamano, Tamil, Eppudi irukke. My language is not that good. And Kannada, Hegidira Neevu. And I learned all this while after I got into admission in St. Joseph University. I got in a course of biochemistry and zoology. I realized that if I need to socialize more, I need to enhance my other skills as well, such as linguistic and interaction with people. So I learned these languages from my friends. And and I tried to push myself out of my comfort zone when I came across this association in my college called Open Heart. Open Heart is basically a celebrity symposium where we call celebrities to our college, we interview them and they talk about their journey. I never knew I would be this dedicated towards something because I thought first year let's try something. I joined as an organizing committee. They would keep meetings every now and then, and whenever I used to go to these meetings, the people who would address us had these shiny golden badges which would indicate that they are part of the core committee. And when I went, that shining from that golden badge would edify me so much in a way that I knew I wanted to have that badge. I knew I wanted people to know me for my work. I knew that I had to work extremely hard for it. And I was in the team of administration, where we cover each other people's story. We research about them, and then we social media marketing, we do all that, and work related to writing. So I used to take every single task that came up in the group, just to be consistent and which would be helpful in the future. After a few months, the main event was over, and it was a time to choose a core committee for the following year. Unfortunately, the interviews were held during my classes, so I was unable to go. And I accepted the fact that I would only be in the core committee from next year. So that was definitely a bumming fact. Then I was having a lunch with one of my friends, and we were talking about Open Heart. The irony is, suddenly my phone rings, and the head of administration was calling me. And I picked up. My heart was beating faster than a teenage who has more than 2 missed calls from their parents. I picked up, and it was for the core committee interview. I was over the moon. 2 days later, an image was sent in the group. The following students have been appointed for the office bearers for the team Open Heart 2023 to 2024. I start checking if my name is there. Convener, assistant convener, head of research and development, head of public relations, head of administration, shares of the world. And I could not accept that at all. With that, I would like to conclude my speech with those things will come to those who wait, but only things which was left by those who hustle. Thank you.
It's a custom in Toastmasters to give a standing ovation for the Toastmaster who delivers the first speech, which is called icebreaker. Moving on to the next speaker, before I call upon the speaker, I request the evaluator Toastmaster Ratan Shetty to read out the guidelines of the speech.
The speaker is attempting the project Understanding Your Communication Style. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his style on others. Time manager, please note that the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratan Shetty. The next speaker, when I Googled his name, it means a conqueror of mind. He is a good conversationalist as well as a good negotiator. He was a mechanical engineer, we call that Royal Mechanics. From that, he has made a paradigm shift. Now he is into software development. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the next speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Ajit Chandrasekhar.
I always wondered, how do some people stand out when you talk to them or when you interact with them, or even if you think about them? There used to be some distant personality when you compare with others. That always made me wonder. And if you just look at them, they're like, some may be short, tall, frail, they might not be that appealing, but still they would create an impact that will not so easily go away or fade away from your mind. And I always wished I do a similar impact throughout my life. Very good evening, Toastmasters and fellow friends.
Good evening, Ajit.
Today I'm quite excited to share some of my personal experiences on the various styles of communication I've been using throughout my life's journey. If I look up my childhood, as a child I was very shy. I used to never stand front in the line. I used to always hide behind with my friends, and I used to be very reluctant to get onto the stage or even participate in debate competitions. And even in the class, I used to never stand up to answer any of the questions. I was too shy. But if I look up my transition right from childhood to college days to professional world, I can easily see I have shaped up with the way from interacting with the people around me, the way I behave, the way I interact, the way I communicate or express myself. It's all because of the people around me. And in fact, just like all of you, I do wear multiple hats, and I fine-tune my hat to a different style of communication depending on several roles I play in my life. And today I'm going to speak some 4 roles. One as a father, another one as a son, and a husband, and as a professional at my workplace. As a father, I would say I'm a very supportive communicator. I actively listen, very patient, and at the same time, I'll have to be convincing too. I have a daughter 9 years old and a 4 weeks toddler. And my daughter throws tsunami of tantrums. It is something I can't avoid, and at times she can be very demanding too. But still, being very supportive helps me communicate dil se and dimag se. So that's how I was able to, get along with her and create that kind of a relaxed environment at home. Then next is his son. Parents can be very demanding too. Elders, to deal with elders is not so easy. And my dad, especially, very hard to get along with. I just want to quote some episode which just happened a year back, where due to some optic nerve compression, he had a foggy eyesight and he had to get a brain surgery done. But when he had that foggy eyesight for several weeks, he was advised not to go out of the house, but he was very adamant. He wanted to go out, get along with the scooter and all that. That's when I had to wear analytical hat. I got all the facts and figures and recommendations from the doctors. I made him talk to my doctors in the family, and that actually helped me to, convince him. Though I'm trying to curb his freedom, but not to get into any complications further. I was able to successfully convince him, and that also involving some kind of emotional dialogues along with facts and figures. So that's the kind of communication I had to do with my dad. Well, I think one of the most difficult communication is communicating with your wife. If you're direct with your wife, if I'm direct with my wife, it's a disaster. You'll be busted within seconds. So that's when I use a kiss technique. Don't get me wrong. I meant by keeping it short and simple. I use some kind of sandwich, try to sugarcoat things to get along my way. At times it works, at times it doesn't work, but maybe I need a series of speeches to master the communication with my wife. The last one, the role I'm as a professional at my workplace, I would say that's my primary style. I'm a very direct communicator that has helped me evolve, grow in my professional career as a leader. Because I work for a US company and they expect me to, it's very demanding and they expect me an outcome every day. It's a very busy and fast-paced environment. So I just like to share some experience where I had to get some budget approvals from my executive leadership team in US and Pacific. The calendars were fully booked and way past midnight. When I look up their calendar, I used to get 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the time. That's when I had to prepare myself for some kind of a direct communication, be more concise, more precise, talk to the point, no lengthy explanations, don't beat around the bush, and still get along and make the deliberated pitch for approvals. And I was so successful to get the budget approvals, and with that I was able to spin up a team here in India, trying to build a solid team in Eastern Hemisphere, very similar to the one in Bay Area. So that's how I have evolved at my work, being a direct communicator. And in general, if I see how I have been all this while, yes, I am a direct communicator, but still I need to adapt to the various roles I play throughout my life journey. And lastly, I would like to say, together, I think all of us have to work towards effective communication. And that can happen when we create a world with a lot of words which will help us elevate, inspire, and connect all of us. I would like to end by saying there's one problem in communication where people fail to adjust or adapt their style depending on the role or the situation or a kind of challenge they face at some point of time. Because of that, they get an impression that, oh, my style of communication is not working. That's not true. You need to adjust yourself to different styles of communication, only then you can succeed. And always, people don't listen to understand, they listen to respond, they listen to reply. That's not right too. And it's so important for all of us to remember, you need to hear what is not being said.
Well said. Thank you, Toastmaster Ajit. Moving on to the final speaker of the evening. We call upon the Vice Toastmaster Joe Sport to read out the objective for this stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chief. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, The speaker is delivering a speech, project 1 speech from level 3 of the path Dynamic Leadership. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. Another purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a past or future negotiation in his or her life. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster George Paul. I have one more question for you. What do you call for a person who speaks more than one language? You may call this a polyglot. And what do you call a person who speaks only one language? An Englishman. So the next speaker is already learning Spanish and he wants to learn all the 4 South Indian languages. But I am questioning him because in Malayalam if you say Marichipoi means you forgot, and in Tamil it is you are dead. And again in Malayalam if you call Patti means it's dog, and in Tamil it's called village. And people who know Telugu, what do you call for come on? I'm not saying. So the next speaker is an aeronautical engineer. He's quite ambitious person. And when I asked about the theme, what he said is, during his college days, he bunked the classes for like almost 2 months in the name of a fest and just explored the college as well as the surroundings. When I asked him what this topic is, title of the speech, he returned me, my title is still in progress. I thought the title is still in progress. The title is Poker Face. Please help me welcome in thunderous round of applause, Toastmaster Vishal Vasanta Kumar.
Anna, I need to go to Indranagar. Okay, sir. 100 rupees. 1 kilometer away. You put the meter, I will pay the price. No, sir, it's not possible. I am not coming. Okay then, I will book a Ola or I'll find some different auto. Okay, sir, you drive a hard bargain. 50 rupees. Me, who was always going to pay only that price. Okay, I will get onto your auto. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I'm sure most of us have had that conversation over the past week. Have you or have you not?
Yes.
Now that was not just a normal conversation. That is a negotiation where I was successful. Now what is a negotiation? Is it persuasion? Is it coercion? Or is it something else? Well, if you ask me, I think that negotiation is a mixture of debate, understanding, and communicating. I was sitting in my home, going about my daily work, which is honestly nothing at the moment, and I get a call from my cousin. He's like, hello, what's going on? And I want you to pick me up. I was like, yes, I'm coming. But then next second, Bangalore traffic hit my mind. And then I said, no, this is not happening. I was like, okay, you come in metro, I'll get you an ice cream. She said, okay, I'll come by myself. Now I got to stay at home and she got an ice cream. Both of us won. Now there was another time in my second year where I decided that I was going home after the lunch break because I didn't have any classes. So when the lunch break came, I went and met my then girlfriend and I said, see, I'm going home. And she said, no, you're staying here. All your friends are staying here. Why do you want to go home? Now I put on the most wonderful, most detail-oriented presentation I have ever given in my life. And I kid you not, I have given a worse presentation for my final year project. You know, all that negotiation, and in the end, guess what the answer was? It was obviously, no, you're staying. Didn't matter what I said, I lost that conversation and that negotiation. Next, I learned a skill from one of my cousins. She edified the skill onto me. I was out shopping in Commercial Street and we walked into a store. She went to the store shopkeeper and she said, "Anna, how much is this piece of clothing?" And he said, "It is 500, madam." She said, "100 rupees, take it or leave it." I mean, obviously the shopkeeper, being a sane person, he was like, "No, I am not giving it to you for 100 rupees. She was like, "Are you sure?" Shopkeeper obviously said, "Yes, I am not going to give it to you for 100 rupees. And she said, "Okay, then I am leaving." I was standing there and I was like, try to negotiate. But see, that was her strategy. She said no deal and started walking out. To my surprise, that actually worked. And he called her back and gave the same piece of clothing for 250 rupees. And it blew my mind. There is always a possibility of no deal and you can walk away from that negotiation if you don't get what you want. One day, the tests were coming and we had to study. Our college friends group sat together and we were deciding who was going to study which subject. My friend was like, "Vishal, you are really smart. You studied this chapter." I had already studied a different chapter. I did not want to go over another chapter and have to teach it to someone. So I started saying, no, to my bestie, no, you are smarter than me. You can understand things better than me. Why don't you do this chapter and I'll do the chapter that I have already studied? And he knew exactly what I was doing. He said, "No, you are smarter." And after half an hour of calling each other intelligent Einsteins and Newtons, we ended up saying, very sorry about that, we ended up saying, "You study half of that chapter and I study half of that chapter." I compromised, but in the end, I only had to study half a chapter. During COVID, I was very, very bored. So I went online and saw what I could do to get rid of this boredom. And I found out that video games are a big thing. So I wanted to buy a gaming laptop. I knew if I went to my dad and said, "I want a gaming laptop that costs 2 lakhs, he would say, "Get out of my house. I don't care if it's COVID, you go sleep in a hospital somewhere." So what did I do? I learned 3 things before I went and asked him. I learned the price of the most expensive laptop, the price of the laptop that I wanted, and price of the laptop that he would suggest I buy. I did not go and ask him to buy me the laptop that I wanted. I went and asked him to buy me a much more expensive laptop. I knew he was not going to agree. And he did not, as predicted. In the end, he said no. But that was fine, because he suggested the third option, which was much lower than what I wanted, and I was definitely not going to buy that. Using the first one, the one that cost 2 lakhs as an anchor, I drove him down to the one I actually wanted. Now here what I did was I controlled the zone of possible agreement, and I made the best alternative to what I asked the same as the zone where we would probably agree. In a negotiation, I think that would be my best strategy. Learn 3 things. What do you want? What is the one thing that you know you are not going to get, but you can ask for? And know what the other person is going to probably suggest. And drive down, meet them in the middle, and make sure the middle is exactly what you want. In the end, if I'm going to leave you with one thing, let me leave you with this. Negotiation is just like poker. Don't show them your cards, and in the end, win. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. To 2014-15, when you call an auto, he'll ask you, "Kidhar jana hai?" Now after Uber and Ola, he'll ask you, "Kidhar aana hai?" So everybody weekend. So come on now. So we'll have a break now for 5 minutes for networking. Then we'll get back to continue the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
An insurance salesperson got into a CEO's office. So normally we don't like insurance salesperson, right? Is there anyone who likes them? So the CEO was really pissed also. He didn't say get out. He said come after 10 years. So he was about to go, and then he returned and said, "Sir, first half or second half?" So he was trying to use his thinking on the skills. So then next session is all about impromptu speaking, thinking on your feet. To take this session forward, we have a Toastmaster who likes hiking and climbing, an adventurous young man. When I asked him about the theme, he said an interesting thing. When he was young and when he wanted to get something done from his mother, he used to do a very interesting technique. All of us can employ that. What he does is, he slowly starts gossiping about his dad's family to his mother. Yes, and then slowly his mother also joins the gossip. And then he realizes the right time, then he reveals what he wants, what favor he wants, and she obliges. So he's an epitome of the theme "Make Hair While the Sun Shines." To take the session forward, please let me welcome Toastmaster Rahul Bharadwaj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheep, for the introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
It's now time for that part of the meeting where everyone starts praying for their name to not be called out. I'm one of them during other meetings. So for the benefit of the guests, the table topic session is the part of the meeting where a person is called out and given a topic to speak about for 2 minutes, for a maximum of 2 minutes. I believe that having the ability to speak about a topic on the spot is very beneficial in general, because along with improving your vocabulary, it also builds your self-esteem and helps you gain that confidence which is really very essential when you're speaking in front of a large crowd, right? So I would encourage you all to actively participate and give your best, and and have fun while you're at it. My first topic. Okay, so the order will be, I'll say the name, the topic first, followed by the person's name, and the person's name is the topic again. The first topic, being too busy is just a myth. Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Ankit, being too busy is just a myth.
Go Ankit!
Ankit!
Thank you for the encouragement. Exactly, being so busy is such a myth. I have a very good friend from the club. His name is Toastmaster Karunakar. Every Saturday I call him to meet him because it's been a long time I caught up with him in the private space. Every Saturday I call him, he's like, "No Ankit, I'm closing a big deal today. I'm closing a big deal." The next consecutive Fridays I meet him, I ask him, "Dude, what about the deal?" He'll always be like, "Bro, it was not a deal. I was free, but I was just too lazy. I was just too lazy to meet you." So thank you for that, Toastmaster Karunakar. Having said that, all of us might have observed, or all of us might have experienced this with these people who never try to give you time at times. For example, Toastmaster Priyanka as well, as she is the VPE. Every time I ask her, "Priyanka, can I get a slot for a speech next week?" She'll be like, "Ankit, I'm very busy. So please call me next month." The next month I call her, "Priyanka, can I get a slot for at least one role in the club?" She'll be like, "Ankit, I'm the VP, I'm very, very busy." So I called Toastmaster Jose. Where's Toastmaster Jose? Toastmaster Jose is still standing outside. I call him to persuade, I call him to to just ask him for a role. I call him to convince Priyanka to give me a role. He'll be like, Ankit, you know what? Everybody in the committee is very busy. And I'll be like, dude, if you guys are so busy, how can we ever get slots? And then I call the president of the club. He's always too busy. Is he here? He's not here. Okay. I may get a slot now. Yeah, with that, nobody I think is ever too busy to respond to you. It's all about priorities in life. Have your priorities straight so that you give the most valuable time to the ones you love the most. Now I rest assured that nobody in the committee loves me, so I never get a slot in the club. Thank you so much.
Next time, Toastmaster Ankit calls in if you don't need The next topic. What is something you would tell your younger self if you could? Toastmaster Puneet. Toastmaster Puneet, what is something you would tell your younger self if you could?
Usually I'm the one who asks questions like these in my podcast channel. How young do you want me to advise you? Okay. So when I was 18, I was doing my second PhD at Jain University, Jain College, and I have to tell you this one scene which I remember so vividly, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember this when I got a national award. I was in the basement of Jain College. There was an event happening. We had a senior come in, and they did the entire event. After the event, I went up to him, like this M2 cutlet kid, and I was like, "Hey, this is the business I'm working on. What do you think?" He held my hand, took me to the ground floor, and he's like, "Look, Puneet, there are 3 floors here. हर फ्लोर के हर क्लास में हर एक लड़का मिलेगा तुझे जो सेम धंधा कर रहा है, who's doing the same that business." And that just broke my heart. I was like, okay, how will I stand out? But somehow gracefully, I did not pay heed to him and shut shop that time. And I continued trying to make the business work. I failed 9 times trying to make my first buck. And I was so upset as a Marwari boy, I don't know how to make money, what the hell. So sad. It turns out, when I turned 19, I realized I checked back with every other person who was doing the same business that I was doing in college. All of them had shut shop. I was the only one still doing it. And it just so happened around that time that RCB needed somebody to do something in their merchandise, and we got in. And suddenly now we were making merchandise for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And a few weeks later, there's Shahid Kapoor here, and his team needed something, and we somehow found a way in, and we made a t-shirt, printed his stuff and all, and got it hand signed. And that worked. A few weeks later, I got a call from Handsome Life, Fair and Handsome, sorry, not they're running a campaign, and they wanted a youngster to co-star with Hrithik Roshan. And suddenly things started working. So if I would tell my 18-year-old, I'd say keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, it will all work out.
Next topic. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Toastmaster Jeevan. Toastmaster Jeevan. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Jeevan.
Good evening, Jeevan.
Good evening, Jeevan.
Thank you, friends. Let's start with the friends. Obviously, how many of you experience tying your friendship bands on the day of Friendship Day? Raise your left hand. Out of 10 people, if 9 people tie a band and other one wouldn't tie, you will identify somehow he's our enemy, but he's there in our group, right? So what you will do from next day onwards? Extra attention on him. Extra attention, like what is he doing? Why is he on the group? But guys, that's fine. There are bad friends and good friends, but I always admire those friends who I'm within, who inspires me to do the best every time. Whenever I have a conversation with such friends, they ignite some ideas in my mind to do great things. And I'm so grateful to have such good friends in my life. And one among the such friends are Bangalore Toastmasters friends. Make sure today vote on me for the best favorite topic. Thank you.
The next topic. What made you the happiest today? Toastmaster Suhas. Toastmaster Suhas, what made you the happiest today?
What made me happy today is that today I got a chance to speak in Yes, and it was a very tough day today. I was like a bit stressed in the morning, and I had a few conflicts with my friends. And today I came to Toastmasters, and today I get an opportunity to speak and express myself. So this is one of the most happiest. Thank you.
Glad you came here today, Toastmaster Suhas. Next topic. Some things are better left unsaid. Toastmaster Tarun. Toastmaster Tarun. Some things are better left unsaid.
So there are some rules when you do your assignments in college. One being that you should not share your assignments among people. But still there's a rule among, like let's say, there's a hidden rule among our friends where we can share. So my friend Chirag is the one who sitting right there. Chirag, raise your hand. So he's the one who helps me in the assignments part. So whenever I'm struggling in a problem, he's the one who goes to it. To an extent where I get the assignment entirely. So there was one point in time where the teacher had asked me, Taran, Chirag, why are both of your assignments the same? And then finally we got to realize that we had to fix it up and one part, and then finally we got to a conclusion where Chirag kind of accepted his fate. He told it was my assignment, I shared it with him, and then we. This isn't a great topic, right? Okay, yes, thanks a lot.
Next topic. Life was better when technology was more simple. Toastmaster Karnakar. Life was better when technology was more simple. Life was better when technology was more simple.
Oh yeah. We all have complicated so many things in life, right? Earlier, technology wasn't existing, but we all wanted some technology of some sort. Imagine a time in the medieval era where the richness of people was known by how many vehicles you aspire to have, right? 19th century, people have cars, rich people have cars, and poor people have horses. Fast forward to 2023, your richness will be defined by horses that you have and not the vehicle that you have. So any Lord Alto, Swift, any kind of cars, you'd be rich by what animal you have or something, some luxury that you actually perceive to have in your life. It is important. Satisfaction is important. If you aim to be a champion speaker like Ankit, you will suffer. Because he doesn't allow you to proceed further. It is important to curtail your happiness. Make sure your satisfactions are taken care of, right? We have everything for our need, but nothing for our greed. So it's important. Celebrate what minimal amount of technology that you need to have in your life. I was reading an article about somebody who was the founder of Shriram Group, Shriram Finance, Shriram Motors, and everything else. He donated around 90% of wealth, and he doesn't even carry a phone. Forget smartphone. So it's okay to limit your conversation to meaningful people. and not waste some time on people like him. So you make sure you have your technology used towards your betterment and the betterment of people around you. So have things for your need, nothing for your greed. Thank you so much.
Next topic. In order to become old and wise, you must first be young and stupid. Toastmaster Vijay Kalpantani. Toastmaster Vijay Kalpantani.
Vijay.
In order to become old and wise, you must first be young and stupid.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Danny. Good evening, Vijay.
So in order to become old and wise, so in order to become old and wise, you need to be young and stupid, and I 100% concur to it because age is just a number. You don't get old as you age, but when you start thinking that the age what you have added is adding to your body. So what that's why what I do is I hang out with people like Karunakar and Ankit. So when you hang out with young people, so there's always a chance that your thought process also will be young. So that's the reason why it's very important. I keep coming to Toastmaster there. Like we have people from 18 to 80 years, and you get a blend of all such people. So one other thing what I have noticed is when you are going with people who are young and energetic, their energy rubs on you, and that's the reason why in our day-to-day life, whenever we are moving with such people, age cannot catch us. The only age is just a number, and we become younger and energetic. Back to
the next topic. Is it better to be smart or lucky? Toastmaster Mahabubullah. Toastmaster Mahabubullah. Is it better to be smart or lucky? Not there. Okay, let's take it. Guest chair.
Before I start, I want to thank my wonderful friend for pushing me to the spot where I'm feeling no pressure. And I'll try my best to make hay while this sun shines. So yeah, I think I believe that there is 99% hard work and just 1% luck. So yeah, it's important. Yeah, it's very important to be lucky. I'll give you an incident. I used to play football. I still play football, but not for any team or something. So one time, one of my friends scored a goal, and unfortunately the ref didn't see it. So ref didn't see the goal. He hit the shot so hard, it hit the inside corner of the post and bounced back. So he then didn't give the goal. So from that incident, I believe that luck was important. Sure, yeah, luck is important, truly. But at the same time, it's very important to work hard. So we had to work hard to reach that stage in the tournament. So we didn't just get there through luck. Yeah, we were unfortunate, but still we had to work hard. We had to train daily, and because of those efforts which we put in every day, every week, running 10 kilometers, running 15 kilometers, and practicing every day, pushed us to where we were in that stage in the tournament. And in any aspect of life, whatever it may be, we have to work hard. We have to give our best in whatever we are trying or whatever we are trying to achieve. So I believe it's 99% hard work. We have to give our best, and 1% we can just leave to God or fate, and we try to achieve what we were trying to achieve. So that's it. Thank you.
The next topic. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Toastmaster Saloni. Toastmaster Saloni. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
So clearly I didn't want it to be here, but I think Punit manifested so much that Saloni
what we see that retains much in our brain than the words. So I definitely agree with this. Whenever we watch a movie, we might forget the dialogues, but we do remember what the story was, and because of the picture. And
So for our next topic, should adults have summer vacations as well? Toastmaster Saurabh. Toastmaster Saurabh, should adults have summer vacations as well? Should adults also have summer vacations?
So, whenever children get summer vacation, of course adults will also get, right? Children will go with their mother and father to mama home or somewhere. Okay, so I think he is talking about school summer vacation. In some area, adults are getting summer vacation, like the judiciary get summer vacation in May, June. So we still have some adults. So if someone is really so if someone really want to get enjoy summer vacation, go to judiciary, become judge, there you can get, or in some companies like my company who give a paternity leave for 26 weeks, so you can have 2 babies and then you can get a long vacation. So that is also one of the possibilities. But yes, but I feel that the purpose behind summer vacation is not whether someone is baby or adult. It is about our enduring power, whether we can endure summer or not. And the reason why children are getting summer vacation because they cannot afford to go out in summer, in heat. And since adults can afford that, so that's why they should not get summer vacation. So I disagree with it. Thank you.
Next topic. Education should be free for everyone. Toastmaster Srinivas. Toastmaster Srinivas, education should be free for everyone.
Good evening, Toastmasters and beloved guests. According to me, education should not be free. If anything which is given free, the value goes down. So probably you have to empower people to aspire to learn something. If something is given even free to anyone, people won't value it. That's what the marketing gimmicks also talk about all this. Even though in a world of developing world, we always speak about giving free education and empowering people. But it should be incentivized to people who really need it with merit, with these things. If everything is given free to everyone, they will not value it. Imagine someone is giving a free education and he has scored a very top marks. He will be able to take, he or she will be able to take their career or their family to the next level. But someone who don't really value these things probably may not be able to utilize those things and waste away that resource to someone else. So probably that's my take on this, and thanks for the opportunity.
Srinivas, I think I still read from the recordings. In the movie theatre, which side of the armrest belongs to you? Toastmaster Saurabh. Which side of the armrest in the movie theatre do you think belongs to you? Which movie theatre? Which side of the armrest do you think belongs to you?
Movie theatre, I'm kind of person, I always love to watch movie. Doesn't matter, I go to theatre and find out a seat and watch a movie. Even I enjoy watching movie over Amazon and even sometimes on YouTube. And I'm okay to sit anywhere in the theatre. So it doesn't matter whether I sit in the front row, whether I sit in the back row. Recently I went for a movie where I want to experience watching the movie, sitting on the recliner, and so I enjoyed it. So that's it.
The saying everything happens for a reason is not true. Toastmaster Advai, the saying everything happens for a reason is not true.
Topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The saying that everything happens for a reason is not true.
Yeah.
I sort of disagree on that. And one of the reasons why I disagree was we were traveling on a highway on a very cold day, and the temperature was -6 degrees outside. And what happened is, as we were exiting the highway, the person who was driving the car suddenly lost control while making the turn to the exit. And then he saw that the road was frozen, and he made a split-second decision to get back on the accelerator so that we get traction onto the wheels and are safe. Now, imagine if things wouldn't have panned out that way. Maybe I wouldn't be standing here. But I believe that everything happens for a reason is because at that moment I sort of realized that wherever you are in life, the blessings and good wishes of your well-wishers are always with you. And perhaps that's the reason why we survive life every day. We always think that if someone casts a bad eye on us, we may something bad will happen. But then we never tend to think that how many blessings we have will actually work on us as well. So in life, there are a lot of situations that make you realize why things happen and how things happen. Perhaps you're not careful enough to really observe them. So I think everything happens for a reason, and life throws a lesson at you every time. And if you're careful enough to see it and understand from it, then you understand the reason why. Otherwise, you don't. Thank you.
If you could, would you rather go back 5 years in time to the past or go ahead 5 years into the future? Santosh. Topic, if you could, would you rather go back 5 years in time to the past or would you go ahead 5 years into the future?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Santosh.
Definitely, I want to go in 5 years in my past. Right now, I am working in government sector, but I do want to do. I'm not satisfied in my job, and today I am here in my sector. I'm not getting what I am deserving here. So definitely, I want to do I do want to get in my past where I didn't did my engineering. So if I get any chance, I don't think I will get chance. Now I completed my degree. I am in working right now. So I have to cope with right now what I am doing. That's all. Thank you.
And that's all the time we have today for the table topics. Thank you everyone. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for edifying us with those wonderful topics. I learned few things. Age is just a number. It's not your need. It's not your greed, it's your need. And when you call Ankit, you know what you should say? You should say, you're busy. They say the most beautiful nation is imagination. And the most dangerous nation is procrastination. And do you know the nation where married people often go? Explanation. And which is the biggest room in the world? It is a room for improvement. And the next session is all about feedbacks and improvement. Next speaker, she's a software engineer, a web developer, and an expert in data visualization. When I asked about the theme, she gave an interesting incident. Most of us don't love to hit a swimming pool during winter. But this lady, it might look ridiculous, but she would like to go to a swimming pool in early winter morning at 17 degrees Celsius because she loves that meditative, lonely moment. For her, that is the time when she make hay, but it's not shining, but whether rain or shine, she makes hay. So ladies and gentlemen, please let me welcome the general evaluator of this evening, Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheep, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening, Chandra.
First, can I ask whether the form is ready out? Not ready. Please send it out. Okay, let me know. Okay, sorry for that. Today when I came in, I saw that the board was done very efficiently. And it's all thanks to our Sergeant at Arms and his helpers. Great job, Toastmaster. You started the meeting on time and very well. I especially liked how you started talking about blood donation and urging people to donate blood. That was a great message to start with. You also went through the basic standard parts of essays, opening speech. And one thing I really appreciate is how, even though you didn't have time to ask Toastmaster Priyanka for her intro, you still managed to, introduce her very well at the last moment. And as you grow in your role as an essay, I hope that you will pay a little more attention to what you say on stage. Because when you did introduce Priyanka, you introduced her as the VP Education, but you did not mention that she was a presiding officer. I know it's not easy to have that when you're speaking almost impromptu, but as you grow in the role, I hope to see that. Please give him a round of applause. After that, we had our presiding officer come on stage. And this is something I'm really astounded by because she had almost zero time to prepare her presiding officer's speech. And yet, she opened the meeting very well. Priyanka, I know you are used to doing this role a few times. So she was very efficient carrying out the role. And she actually came out with a great anecdote. And I enjoyed the anecdote, and I'm sure all of us did as well, even though there was a little bit of a mix-up in the names. For taking up this role at the last moment and doing it so well, can we give her a round of applause? We had our Toastmaster of the Day come on stage after that, but I will leave your feedback for a little later. Moving on to the first
official section of our meeting. We had the prepared speeches. Our first speaker was Toastmaster Shreya Sargol, and her evaluator is Toastmaster Smita. Can we have you on stage
Good evening, Toastmasters, again once more. And my target speaker, Shreya in particular. Congratulations, Shreya, your baby steps, your first step in your Toastmasters journey started today. And you started it with a bang, I should say. You've not only broken the ice on this stage, you have broken the ice with every member of the club. An introvert who is humbled by the witty charm of her mom, imbibed discipline from her father. Shreya, you did give us an insight into your personality. I'm in awe. Even if it was your first speech, you did not refer to notes, you could have done it. You didn't stumble, you were totally in control. Your story of how you became a committee member in your second year, how much you wanted that golden badge. That story was crafted so well that all our years were yours and all our eyes was on you. But since our eyes were on you, you made our eyes move like a pendulum, I should say. This is one suggestion where I would like to give. Moving up and down the stage can sometimes distract the audience. So, move only if needed, or rather, make your movements more meaningful. My second suggestion would be a speech creates a lasting impression when you conclude it well. Yes, you had an impactful ending, but I felt you were hurrying a bit and therefore the effect got diluted. So the next time when you're preparing for it, you should give yourself time and deliver that last part of your speech very well. Having said that, this being your icebreaker, I would say this, you did it incredibly well. I'm sure you're going to have a great Toastmasters journey. Looking forward to more of your speeches. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smita, for that great evaluation. Toastmaster Shreya, you were incredible, and it was great to know more about you. If I had one more thing to add, it would be that it would be nice to see a little more about your childhood in the speech. It would have made your speech a little more well-rounded. But you did a great job, Toastmaster Shreya. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Ajit, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Ratan Singh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
We had a speech from Toastmaster Ajit, which I'd like to evaluate based on the content and delivery of the speech, as well as how well he touched upon the objective and realized them during the course of the speech. What a wonderful speech, especially for the content. Every speech needs to have a structure, and the structure is in the form of an opening, a body, and a conclusion. The content of a speech is built on this structure. Ajit had a very clear structure wherein he built a communication with the audience. He built a connect from the time that he started speaking. The body of his speech was divided into clear sections. He said that I'm going to be talking about how I communicate as a son, a father, a professional, and a husband. His speech was replete with anecdotes. When someone speaks about his own examples, we are all ears. We want to hear something which is original, which is a slice of life, and we are able to empathize with the speaker. The speech objective requires that the speaker also talks about how he adapts the communication styles to different situations. And this was actually brought out during the examples which he gave, the 4 examples which he gave in his speech. Now coming to the delivery of speech. The delivery of the speech was replete with a smile throughout the speech, a very easy conversational style, a clear voice, and adequate eye contact with all the members of the audience as he spoke. He also had very clear, very natural hand gestures. The only challenge with those hand gestures, however, was that they were hidden behind this lectern. On the other hand, if he had spoken from the center of the stage or utilized the stage, then we would have been able to see his gestures, especially his hand gestures as well as his body language and the movements in a much better way. So that is my first suggestion to Ajit. Use the stage when you have the opportunity as a speaker to do so. One area where I thought you could have touched upon is the fact that the basic structure of the basic style of communication which you use in your daily conversations. That's the only aspect I thought that you could have touched upon. Other than that, for a very engaging content and a very natural delivery style of the speech, probably a notch higher in terms of the vocal, in terms of the usage of vocal variety, but other than that, I would say that it was a speech that I would really have look forward to hearing again, probably with a little more vocal variety as well as usage of the stage. All the best to you for your next.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rakesh. Toastmaster, I completely concur with you, Toastmaster Rakesh. If I had one thing to add, Toastmaster Ajay, you are generally a little soft-spoken. So if I could suggest something, please do use the mic freely. I know this mic gets a little glitchy sometimes, but if you can come early next time and use the hand mic, it will also help you move around on stage a little more freely. Moving on to the third speech. We had Toastmaster Vishal deliver the speech, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. We all know that negotiation is a part of everyone's life, and we indulge in this several times in a day and in almost all areas of our life. The role play with the auto driver that Toastmaster Vishal just enacted was something that we could relate very well, because that happens very frequently in our lives. The purpose of this speech was also to share some aspect of negotiations in our lives. So I think that was very well done, because he had a series of experiences in different areas of his life and with different persons. So that was very evident. One, with apart from this auto driver scenario, he had with his cousin, where he bribed or rather offered his cousin an ice cream. Then girlfriend staying back in college, which obviously, inevitably he lost. And another one is the art of shopping that he learned from his cousin. And the combined study with a friend. And of course, with his dad, how he bargained and got the laptop that he wanted. Now that is some tip for many of you, and even for me. If my son comes up to me, I know what is the strategy that he would possibly use. Now he came up with another strategy for negotiation, that is knowing what you want, which basically means you prepare very well so that you can settle for something that you want. So that is something that came out very evidently. Now if I may have some suggestions, Toastmaster Vishal, another purpose of this speech was to learn different types of negotiation and the strategies to be used when negotiating. Now, of course, you came out with one point of knowing what you want. Now, the aspects of different types of negotiation styles, I'm sure that most of the audience would not have known what the negotiation styles were, though you illustrated it with a lot of examples. Now, for instance, there are 5 negotiation styles. The first one being competitive negotiation style, where I win, you lose. Collaborative negotiation style, where I win, you win. Compromising negotiation style, where I win and lose some, you win and also lose some. Avoidance negotiation style, where I lose and you too lose. Accommodative, where I lose and you win. Now, that possibly would have been much more educative, and we would have gone back much more enriched if had we known the different styles of negotiation. So what you could have possibly done is have the experience in your life and then relate it to what negotiation style that was and the characteristics that was required and emphasized in that particular negotiation style. So that would have helped us to use the styles that were required. So that, I think, would have added much more value to your speech. Otherwise, I think you've done well, and all the very best for your next speech, Toastmaster Vishal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jules. That was a very comprehensive evaluation, and I don't have anything to add. With this, we have the speeches evaluated, and I will get back to the star of today's show, the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Sri Kumar, we've seen how much effort you've put into the role today. I know you reached out to all the role takers very early, asking them for their intros and anecdotes. And we saw the same enthusiasm here on stage today. And I also enjoyed seeing the humor that you brought into the role. I know it's not easy to intersperse the humor throughout your throughout the different parts of your role today, but you did that very well, Toastmaster. I felt that you did a great job tying the meeting together. If I had a couple of points for you to note for the next time you take the role, it is that you had about 4 anecdotes in your first speech. And I think because of that, you went a little bit over time. Now, as the person who ties the meeting together, right, you also need to be alert about the time, not just other people, the time other people take, but about the time you take as well. So it would be good to have you look at the time next time. All in all, I think you did a great job, Toastmaster Shri. You brought that enthusiasm, and I know that all of us loved hearing you speak throughout the meeting. Moving on, we had the table topics session next, and it was being conducted by Toastmaster Rahul with us. Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul, I loved how you came here and cracked a joke. You started with a joke about table topics. That's a great way to start off and get everyone to sit up and listen to you, especially after the long networking session. great introduction about table topics. But if there is one place I would have liked to see you do something different, it would be to see you explain the timings when you're here on stage. I know the timer already explained the timings, but it would have been nice to have it reiterated, especially for the guests, because they are new to it. But you had great topics for everyone. I know everyone spoke about their topics very well, and it was well suited. And you also talked about how, as a table topics master, you get to escape talking impromptu. That is not always true. And I know this is a bit of a stretch goal as you move forward in your Toastmasters journey. But when you come on stage between calling people speeches, you can have a one sentence comment or remark that will be a great transition. It's not easy to do. I know I have trouble doing that. But as you grow as a Toastmaster, do look into doing that. I know the jewels for today, as Toastmasters Sheep said, have been doing a great job. I see them all, filled up with filling up their books. And I will call them on stage. Can we have our timer, Toastmaster Gaurav, come and give his comments?
So overall, on an average, everybody was on time. But I would like to comment on speakers because it will be necessary for their development. So Shreya and Ajit took 4 and 5 seconds extra, and Vishal took 15 seconds extra. Other than that, in table topics, only Puneet took 16 seconds extra. Otherwise, everybody was on time. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for the nice and brief description. Can we have our counter Toastmaster Himani give us her comments?
Thank you, Toastmaster Chair. I would like to thank Toastmaster Priyanka for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the club through edifying all the speeches as our counter and reporting out the crutch words, usage of crutch words wherever the speakers have used more than 5 counts of crutch words like well, so. Toastmaster Gaurav Malya used, there were 8 hours used by you. Toastmaster Shreya, there were 9 hours used by you. Toastmaster Ajit Chandrasekhar, 12 hours. And Toastmaster Sampath and Abhay, you used 7 hours. Rest, everyone was well managed. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Himani. And now we have the grammarian, Toastmaster Rahul Equally.
I Toastmasters. So the good usages and the not so good usages, all the speakers, Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Ajit and Toastmaster Vishal, all of them use the word edify. Chirag specified on the theme. She used the word of the day twice, edify. The good usages, I think Shreya, her introduction was very good. Like, she used the different languages to introduce herself. Teenager with 2 missed calls. Toastmaster Ajit, multiple hats, a series of communication, listen what's being said. Toastmaster Vishal, go sleep in a hospital. Not so good usages, were secluded, I think it was secluded. So I just say I. Very direct, very demanding, just direct and demanding. Keep in the middle, just keep in the middle. So yeah, that's it.
know we all had a great meeting together today. Although half of Bangalore is moving out of the city for the long weekend, it's great to see everyone here. And can we, I think we have our form, or our voting form online. Members, please note that the password is FLY. Now all small letters, FLY. I will give you about 30 seconds to vote. Okay, I think everyone has finished voting. Anyone else? Okay. With this, we come to the end of the meeting. I would like you all to give a big round of applause to everyone. I know I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting. And I'm happy that the committee spent so much time on today's meeting. With this, I would like to ask Toastmaster Sheep to take over.
It's almost the end of the meeting. Before I go, there are two types of people. Some are wise and some are otherwise. There are two types of speakers. Some are nervous and some are liars. And there are two types of Toastmasters. One who brings happiness whenever they come here, and one who brings happiness whenever they go, and it's time for me to go. So, thank you so much. Back to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sheep, for anchoring this meeting so fabulously. Let's give a huge round of applause. Many of us come here and join Toastmasters or be a part of Bangalore Toastmasters Club to excel in three important skills. That is your thinking, speaking, and listening skills. For some of us, one of the skills is very dormant. For some who know how to manage and have a balance with all the three skills. But one thing that in Toastmasters, when we are a part of it, we learn how to create a balance and enhance every skill and have the right balance of everything. So that anytime we are on the stage or we're interacting with someone, we know how to apply these skills. At least this is what I have learned in my journey over here. I was a very bad listener. But this stage, or this entire club has taught me how important it is to be a very good listener and also very good thinker. And I'm very, very grateful for this organization. If anybody would like to know more about Toastmasters and Bangalore Toastmasters Club, I request you all to please reach out to our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Joss. Before I announce the results, I would like to invite one of our guests who will come from St. Joseph University, right? And please share your experience in today's meeting.
Very warm good evening to everyone here. Today was my first day. I'm sure I would remember this for quite some time. Being present in this memorable event of Toastmasters Club, I found it very pleasant and I found it enriching. Honestly, I would have a lot to take back to my university and share pleasant experiences with them. So thanks a lot for this memorable and wonderful set of speeches by all of you.
Thank you so much. May I know your name, please? Sudarshan. Thank you so much, Sudarshan. And I have an announcement to share to all of you. We are starting our speech craft program from on Sunday, that is 13th of August. And now it's time for the most awaited moment, that is the results. The Best Auxiliary Role Taker Award goes to Toastmaster Himani Pandey. The Best Role Taker Award goes to Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sheet Kumar. The Best Table Topic Speaker Award for today's meeting goes to Toastmaster Karnakar.
It's your need, not your greed.
The Best Evaluator Award goes to Toastmaster Joe Paul. The best speaker for today's meeting goes to Toastmaster Vishal Vasanta Kumar. I really hope you all had an enriching experience, at least I did have. And it also challenged me to know that I need to work a lot on my impromptu speaking, because there are times when you will land up in a stage or at a point where you need to just step up and speak your mind rightly. So on that note, I would like to adjourn today's meeting.